to this wonderful, wonderful afternoon with us. We honor and acknowledge all of you here on this call and for being here today. And we hope you're well and good and as excited as us to hear our presenter for today. And of course, we would like to thank you for choosing you by taking this call. Before we move forward, do we have permission to do a grounding activity? Okay, just give a thumbs up or any of your functions there. So what is this grounding activity? A grounding activity is for us to be in a space of openness and being centered and connected to the source and to lift the session up to the higher power. So please settle in your most comfortable position and gently close your eyes and take a deep cleansing breath. Inhale and exhale. As you inhale, surrender all your thoughts, feelings, and emotions that are not working for you. All anger, resentment, fear, anxiety, just release it today. And as you inhale the possibilities and the greatness of you, and exhale all the limitations that you impose yourself with. And bringing into light the question, what else is possible beyond this? What else is possible beyond this? Take another deep cleansing breath. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, 9, exhale. Inhale, 8, exhale. Inhale, 7, exhale. Inhale, 6, exhale. Inhale, 5, exhale. Inhale, 4, exhale. Inhale, 3, exhale. Inhale, 2, exhale. Inhale, 1, exhale. Inhale, 0, and exhale. And take another deep cleansing breath. Inhale and exhale. And you may now open your eyes. Good morning, maayong buntag, magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. You just did a 9 to 0 Sunya meditation with us. What else is possible and how does it get any better than this? So welcome once again to our Tea Time Thursdays, and I hope you have your favorite beverage beside you right now. If you have your coffee, your tea, your juice, or water, whatever that is. So Tea Time Thursdays is one of our play space in the Fox Tribe. This is hosted by the Fox Tribe, and this is to create a space for people to learn and have more possibilities in life. And we talk about anything under the sun here. Sometimes we talk about gardening, arts, music, Filipino culture, business, money, creations. And today, of course, we'll be talking about conscious parenting with our special guest. So what's in it for us here at the Fox Tribe? We have a wonderful business possibilities. And if you love the environment that you are in right now, our community and our culture in the Fox Tribe, and if you feel like it's light and fun for you to join us, we are also inviting you to join our tribe. So just contact any of the Fox Tribe members in this call, whether it's me, Zai, Ate Jenny, or yeah, just contact any of us. So yes, we are creating a sustainable way in creating business, and at the same time, becoming conscious leaders, co-creating a new earth. So what else is possible? So our presenter for today is very close to our hearts, and she's one of our family friends, and we have journeyed with her for a long time, and they go to together with our parents, you know. She's our sister Reina, and we have been with her since like our furniture days of our family, the TJF, OCCI, Mission, Movement of Nationals with Nicanor Perlas, Ikipono, the Course in Miracles family, Asim family. We have been through so many things. And now the Fox Tribe and the Sisterhood of the Rose. So she is the Juanita of Olivia, an educator for almost 30 years, 10 years in college and 17 years in preschool. And I admire her so much in how she deals with children. And it was very interesting that a lot of us here in this call, I am sure, is being challenged when it comes to how to support children in digital learning. So yes, without further ado, we'll give the floor to our beautiful, beautiful golden fox god, Juanita Mendoza. Welcome.
Wow. Thank you, Sister Reina. Oh, daghanag palakpakan, oy. Cheers, tea time Thursday, everyone. Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank Fox Tribe Mates for having me here this afternoon and this opportunity to be able to share. So I was, well, initially Tina and I talked that we will be discussing digital learning and it's conscious parenting. But as I was looking at the participants, parang kadamihan dito wala mang mga anak. At saka kung meron man, matanda na. So it would be nice that before we start, if we can introduce ourselves shortly, maybe 2 minutes, and maybe share what do you expect from this meeting this afternoon. So anybody can share so that we can level expectations and I can try to see how I can like be able to provide whatever it is that you are needing from this session. So maybe we'll start with, yes, Tina, you'd like to share something?
Sige. Sige, ano na lang ako yung sa question mo, like, what am I expecting? For me, since I don't have children yet, so it's a preparation, whatever it is that I'm gonna learn from you. So it's a preparation, and also how to support, because we also have a kid here at home. So maybe in the future also. Meron sa.
Okay, great. Thank you. So by the way, I was thinking, it's not only like if you don't have children, we are all learners. Everybody's learning online. So we can also try to see how we can also maximize our learning in this digital world right now. So who wants to go next?
Me.
Beautiful Inzai.
Yes, me. Yeah, I want to learn more about how to handle frustration because sometimes because I am already involved in doing learning ba yeah, ma-frustrate ko if hindi siya mahumanda yun and I want to hindi ko ako ma-detach how to detach myself from his online learning.
Okay,
thank you.
Gorgeous Inza, you are the perfect participant for our meeting this afternoon. On you. Okay, thank you. Okay, who wants to go next?
Me, Tita Jeannie.
Me or Marita? Jeannie? So we'll have you first and then Marita next. Okay, thank you. Sige,
Okay.
Jeannie, go.
Yes. I wanted to learn new perspective and insight so that I can assist my pamangkin well.
Yay.
Because I really, yes, just like Mami Zai, I have witnessed talaga since nung March na nag-quarantine, nag-lockdown. I've witnessed how she struggled and now I have seen my sister as well, her struggles. So I'd like to, contribute and provide support from my pamangkin and my sister. That's
Wow.
all.
Thank you, Jeannie. How wonderful to be able to support. We're so blessed to have you supporting them, your pamangkin. Okay, we'll have Merlinda. Yes, Merlinda.
Good morning. Morning,
Morning.
everyone. Morning, beautiful souls of Fox Tribe. Good morning, Mom Juanita.
Yes,
Very nice
morning.
name. I'm
Yes.
Merly from Zamboanga City. Yes,
Wow. Buenos
and I
dias.
have one daughter, teenager, grade
Mm,
10.
okay.
Soon to be part of the XN also. I would like to learn more aside from I've been learning, but as a teacher, I mean as a parent, not as a teacher, as a parent, I want to guide my daughter also with my pamangkin. Also, they need my help.
Ay,
Uh,
okay.
yes, I'm surrounded with pamangkins here. And also, I want to know more about this digital, embracing the new normal. As a teacher, difficult pa
Yes.
learning the digital education or system. So, ganun. Thank you.
Perfect. Perfect participant. Thank you, Merlinda. Don't we all want to be able to embrace really this new normal with ease, joy, and glory, di ba? Thank you, Merlinda, for your share. So, Merlinda, if I may ask, how old is your teenager, grade 10? Ilang taon?
Going 15. Ngayon, 15. Pero by October, 16 na siya.
Okay, ilang taon, boy or girl?
Girl.
Okay, girl. Tas yung pamangkin mo is how old?
Mga kwan pa, bata pa, mga grade 2.
Okay.
Grade
So
2.
that's around 8 or 9, no? 8 or 9.
8 or
Thank you,
9.
Merlinda. Sige.
You're
Thank you. Okay, who
welcome.
wants to go
God
next?
bless.
God bless.
Me, Hannah.
Wow, go! Our money mother.
Yes. So my
Yes,
name is
Hannah.
Hannah, and wala akong expectations. I'm just, incredibly curious on how we are going to shift and transition into a different learning system na kinalakihan ko prior to this happening. So, of course, very, anong tawag nun, very conventional or traditional yung akin. So, I'm I'm just looking forward to a different kind of learning system. Ano kaya yun? So, yun. That's it for
Thank
me.
you. Thank you, Hannah. I love your openness, your embracing new ways of doing things, and just the just knowing how it's done. Preparation na po ni Dai, you know why? Soon.
Soon.
Yes, why not? Okay, thank you, Hannah. Who wants to go next?
Me.
Okay, Darlene,
Hi. Yes po. Yes po. Hi.
the Lightful Sisterhood. Yes, Darlene.
Yes, I'm Darlene or Bubbles. For me, I'm here because I don't have children nor secret children,
Yes.
but yeah, yeah. But only have rap here sa balay. But I have a lot of friends who are mothers, single mothers, and also fathers.
Uh-huh.
And I'd like to know how to be a conscious adult with children. Yeah,
Yes.
so
Yes, you
that's
always
what
are
I'm
a
here for.
conscious contributor to whatever area. So this is a nice, also adding to the house of how to
Mhm.
do things. Thank you, my
Thank
beautiful
you.
sister, delightful bubbles ka na pala ngayon. Okay. Thank you. Okay, who else? Tiffany? You, Tiffany. Yes. So ready na. Parang something is with your audio, Fanny. We cannot hear you.
Um, yes, I'd like to know more lang. Hello, marinig ako?
Yes.
Yes.
So, hindi na. Ang narinig ko lang, Fanny, is that you'd like to know more.
Na,
Uh,
but the possibility of becoming a, mother and
I know.
Ah,
I know.
i-chat
Okay.
ko na
So, it's clear na.
lang.
Right, choppy ang iyong mga putol-putol, parang telegraphic message. Gets ko na sa energy and vibration pa lang. At saka sa mga post mo, sa mga cutie-patuti na mga babies. So, you are really preparing yourself. So, thank you so much, Fanny, for being here this afternoon. Okay, who else?
Me po, me po.
Si Sadie?
Side.
Sadie. Sadie. Yes, Sadie.
Ano po, I have two daughters. Ang isa 5 and isa 1. Ang 5 years old kay mag-school sa ngayong October 5 pa po. And then, ang expectation ko siguro, paano maging conscious parent. Kasi minsan, ma-unconscious din ako minsan pag masapot na ganit. So, yun lang po siguro.
Sige, thank you, Saidi. Perfect po ka. Perfect ning kita tanan maaptan jud tag mga pagka-unconscious, no, especially when it's about our children, kay they're so familiar man good, so we can just like kuan be authentically us around them, so manlupad ang mga espiritu o mga energy. So Saidi, thank you. Who else? Kinsa pay wala naka-share?
Hi, Atinis. Good morning. It's me,
hello.
Mayfloor.
Mayfloor, di ay Mayfloor. Mayfloor.
Yes po. I'm here for katong ganahan ko itong ingon ni Darlene, conscious adult sa ako ang nakoy, although wala pa ko'y anak, pero in preparation sa ako ang maging anak. And nakoy pamangkin na 10 years old as guardian, conscious guardian.
Thank you. So we are surrounded with learners, not only young learners, there are also adult learners, and we ourselves are adult learners. So this actually covers all ages, this talk this afternoon. Thank you, Mayfloor. So, wala pa anak.
Wala pa.
Yet.
Hapit
okay,
na.
Thank you. Hapit na dyan na. Okay, isa pa next. Isa pa wala. Jabez. Ikaw nag-yun, Jabez. Si Gracia. Unya pa man si Jabez. Kaya daga, musulod si Jabez, mo exit na po. Gracia, ikaw.
Hello. Good morning.
Morning.
Ako kay, I have one son, and then, ang ano lang ako is, I admire and so honor you, Miss Juanita.
Wow. Thank you. The feeling is mutual, Miss Grace.
Yes. How you raised your kids.
Wow. Thank you.
Yeah. So makita man ang results. So that's why I'm so looking forward to learn more from you.
Wow. Thank you. I joyfully receive. And yes, we are all amazing parents, no? So,
Yes.
because we are all one. Mirroring lang ta, Grace. Sige,
Thank you.
Grace. So, we have Jabez, and then we have Aisha next, and then Bal. Right? Jabez first.
Hello po, Tita Nita. I miss you. Curious lang po ako as to how we should assist our youngsters sa new normal. And meron din akong pamangkin na 10 years old, so I can help him. Yun lang. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Jabez. I miss you. And I love your curiosity. That's also, curiosity, by the way, is one of the intelligences right now. Daghan na kay mga intelligences ng buwas. So we'll discuss that further later. Si Aisha.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Dili pa kayo na ma-relate as of now, pero student pa man good ako, pero na-curious lang din ako, kaya ako nandito. Kaya curious. Same kay Ate Jabez, na-curious kasi. Yun lang.
Wow. Thank you. Wow, nindot yun yung curiosity, no? Sige,
Thank you.
possible. Kanang inyong curiosity, the possibilities will be overflowing because you are curious. Thank you, Aisha. And then we have Bal.
Kuya
Is
Bal?
Bal
Hello.
Hi.
Actually, this is my first time na nakatin yan sa 3 o'clock prayer ba yan? Joke. Same time. Ganito, since I'm single, so hindi ako masyadong pang makarelate about parenting consciousness. Pero since dami ko mga pamangkin, so ibig sabihin, so nakikita ko rin yung mga sister or brother, paano sila magpalaki sa mga anak nila. So siguro ang naano ko diyan sa is paano i-adapt yung paano sa pinalaki. Kasi kung paano sa pinalaki doon, so yung nagiging sila, pero kailangan mayroong
Okay. Well, okay, na-cut off na si Bal. But thank you so much for that, Bal. So, kalami, no, if we have more men who are also preparing
more yata makikinig mo na ako sa inyo. So, siguro makakuha mga learning pa. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Bal. So, salamat. We've heard from everyone already. Is there anyone who haven't spoken or haven't shared? Everybody have shared, no? So, salamat kaayo. I will try my best to be able to meet whatever it is that you are here for this afternoon. So, our topic for today actually is of digital learning. So, as we all know, because of the pandemic, because of this COVID-19 disease, everybody is adjusting to a certain kind of normal. They call it the new normal. And one of this new normal is for the learners or the students to be learning from their home. So yan na ang nangyayari. Ngayon, tayo lahat ganun actually ang nangyayari even before DepEd declared that education will start at home. Tayo mga adults, we've also been learning. Kaya itong mga Zoom meetings, we have this mga initiated by Fox Tribe, there are certain mga topics, and we attend because we are also wanting to know more. So this one addresses not only the students per se under DepEd, but us who are also learning in non-conventional ways. Before, we were attending seminars, we're attending workshops. Kaya nga, mga seminarista kami ni Tina, classmates sa tanan. Because of this, our desire to learn and want to know more. So, tayo din mismo, mga estudyante. And I think by now, we have somehow adjusted and we're able to find ourselves learning this way. So initially, maybe may mga struggles, may mga challenges, pero somehow, okay na tayo ngayon. But our students, the younger ones, this is a new playing field for them. And that is why tayo mga adults, parents, mga titas, mga titos, we are here to support the transition especially. Kasi nga, tayo mismo dumaan din ng mga ganito na parang how are we going to fit in this kind of system. So for the children, those who have experience already, ang understanding ko si Zai nag-start na yata yung sa South Point. Nag-start na ba sila, Dwayne?
Yes, nag-start na. Hindi pa nagsagot si Zai.
Okay. So, merong ibang schools who have already... Okay. Kasi yung so, nag-start na siya. Medyo putol-putol ka, Zai. So, maybe si Zai, yung mga tidbits lang na nadunggan ako during our bar swap is that there are certain situations na medyo maka-frustrate kasi nga not only si mother but I think si Dwayne also was also frustrated in how to deal with this kind of learning. So let's immediately start na para maka-start na ta. So Tina, if I may, yung first screen natin, if we can share, I'll share to you something. So, ito siya. When I first saw this, do you see the whole thing? Ay, hindi makita yung sa ilalim, no? But it says, bakit parang ako ang naka-enroll? So I think most parents are experiencing this right now na meron din ako nakausap earlier, like last month, yun din, nakausap ko siya, ang struggle niya kasi ang anak niya nasa, I think, grade 6 na. So they were actually researching both parents kasi yung mga topics sa English, yung mga construction of sentence, ang ending daw parang unfair na in-enroll nilang anak nila pero ang ending sila yung nagtuturo sa mga anak nila. So feeling nila parang sila ang naka-enroll. So before we talk about how to support, we need to understand first the nature of the learner. Learner, including us, tayo, learner tayo, yung mga estudyante. So, next screen. What kind of smart are you? I know most of you have already determined what kind of learner you are, but I've chosen 15 questions here that I'd like you to answer. By the way, I am so sorry, no? I did not tell you. If you have a paper and ball pen with you so that you can write down your answers, because there are 15 questions here that you are going to answer. So maybe you can look around your table or wherever your space is and grab hold of a paper and a pen. So what we are going to do right now is to answer 15 questions. And these are just random questions that I gathered. Actually, there should be more questions to this, but let's try to answer. They're very simple. The first thought or the first answer, that's your answer. Do not overthink it, okay? So next screen. So if you have your pen and paper, the first question is, if I am teaching someone something new, I tend to A, write instructions down for them. B, give them a verbal explanation. C, demonstrate first, and then let them have a go. So which among these answers is your answer? The first thought, huwag mo nang masyadong i-overthink. Okay? So next question. During my free time, I most enjoy A, going to museums and galleries. B, listening to music and talking to my friends. C, playing sports or doing do-it-yourself projects. Number 3, third question. When I am learning a new skill, I am most comfortable, A, watching what the teacher is doing, B, talking through with the teacher exactly what I'm supposed to do, C, giving it a try myself and work it out as I go. Okay, number 4. If I am choosing food off a menu, I tend to A, imagine what the food will look like. B, talk through the options in my head or with my partner. C, imagine what the food will taste like. Number 5. When I listen to a band, I can't help A, watching the band members and other people in the audience. B, listening to the lyrics and the beats. C, moving in time with the music. Is that music? Okay, number 6. When I concentrate, I most often A, focus on the words or the pictures in front of me. B, discuss the problem and the possible solutions in my head. C, move around a lot, fiddle with pens and pencils, and touch things. Okay, number 7. I usually remember A, looking at something, B, being spoken to, C, doing something. Okay, number 8. When I am anxious, A, visualize the worst case scenarios. B, talk over in my head what worries me most. C, can't sit still, fiddle and move around constantly. Okay, number 9. When I have to revise for an exam, I generally A, write lots of revision notes and diagrams. B, talk over my notes alone or with other people. C, imagine making the movement or creating the formula. Number 10. If I am explaining to someone, I tend to A, show them what I mean. B, explain to them in different ways until they understand. C, encourage them to try and talk them through my idea as they do it. Okay, number 11. I really love A, watching films, photography, looking at art, or people watching. B, listening to music, the radio, or talking to friends. C, taking part in sporting activities, eating fine foods and wines, or dancing. You can like love all of them, but which one is the one that you really love the most? Okay, number 12. Most of my free time is spent A, watching television, B, talking to friends, C, doing physical activity or making things. So again, you might be doing all of this, but which one is the one that gives you most joy? Number 13. If I am angry, I tend to A, keep replaying in my mind what it is that has upset me. B, raise my voice and tell people how I feel. C, stomp about, slam doors, and physically demonstrate my anger. So which one among this is the one that you like on default do immediately? Number 14. I find it easiest to remember A, faces, B, names, C, things I have done. Okay, and last question, number 15. I remember things best by A, writing notes or keeping printed details. B, saying them aloud or repeating words and key points in my head. C, doing and practicing the activity or imagining it being done. So that's the last. Okay, we'll stay there first, Tina. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to tally your answers. How many A's did you answer? How many B's? And how many C's? So out of the 15, ilan dyan ang letter A? Count it. Ilan ang letter B? And ilan ang letter C? And then you encircle yung pinakamadami. So if it's A, yan ang pinakadami mo. B, yan ang pinakamadami mo. Or C. Okay? Are you done? Okay. So if your answer or if your most answer is A, your learning style or the best way that you learn is, let's go to the next slide, is through seeing. You are a visual person. So you learn better or best when you are seeing things, learning through seeing. If most of your answer is letter B, then you are an auditory learner. You learn best through hearing. You want to hear things. You want mostly okay ka lang pag naririnig mo ang teacher. Or if your answer is letter C, most of your answers are letter C, then you are a kinesthetic or tactile learner, learning through moving, doing, and touching. So this is what we call the VAC or Visual Auditory Kinesthetic Learning Styles. Matagal na ito. Actually, most seminars or trainings, we undergo this kind of like parang screening, sinasabi nila para malaman natin ano ang learning style natin. And lately, meron na silang dinagdag dyan. Next screen, please. Hindi na siya VAC. It is now called VARC. So there's still the visual learner, learn best by reading and converting printed materials into symbols. The oral or the auditory, learn best by actively listening to information. What is added is the read-write learners. Learn best by reading and writing information. So ito yung mga learners na pag nag-attend ng seminar, sige sulat, they write everything. And even without the intention of reading it again, they just parang feeling nila ang kanilang arms or hands is an extension of their brain. And the last is the kinesthetic learner, learn best by practical application of the information. So why do we need to understand what kind of learner we are? Or more importantly, sino yung mga sinusupport natin, yung mga anak natin, mga pamangkin, kailangan malaman din natin ano ang learning style nila. Kasi let's first apply it to ourselves. Okay? So ako, I will use myself as an example. I am a kinesthetic learner. Lihukan kaayo ko. That's why before there were a lot of online courses. I enrolled several online courses. Hindi ko talaga matapos-tapos. Parang sayang lang yung enrollment fee ba? I cannot finish it. I cannot seem to understand or even yung mga ASIM, mga lessons. Hindi ko talaga maintindihan. They're so wordy. Kailangan ko ng movement, kailangan ko ng interaction, kailangan ko na parang ma-actualize siya. And so, at that time, when I was still like in college, ang course ko kasi is accounting, or right now it's called accountancy. There were a lot of memorizing to do, especially the Constitution. I-memorize ko ng Constitution. Hindi ko siya ma-memorize pag hindi ako nag-march around the room. Kailangan maglakad ako. So, Constitution, we the Filipino people, blah, 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 blah. I need to move. I need to do a lot of activities. I need to be sitting down, standing up, eating, going around because I am a kinesthetic learner. Now, unfortunately, if the teacher do not understand that there are or is not aware that there are different learning styles and do not understand the learning style of the varied learning styles of their students, ang problema niyan is nale-label agad ang bata, 'di ba? Oh, Juanita, sit down. Why do you keep standing up? Tapos makasabaan kay not listening. Taod-taod, mahulog ang ballpen. Taod-taod na sa guwas. Teacher, can I go out please? Mga mga kinesthetic learners I've had because I've been teaching for almost 30 years. So 10 years in college. Lagi may mga estudyante na taod-taod di man gyud kiti-kiti. We call them kitty-kitty learners. And if you are ignorant that this student is this is their type of learning style, ma-label na as kuan siya kanang kuan lang gina-disrupt lang niya ang klase. So ang ending, makasab-an, mapunish. So I remember when I was still in high school na several times kay very rigid and very traditional man to amo ang school. It's a Chinese school. Pag magtabi lang kagamay, patindugon. Kapila ko ana gipatindog as a form of punishment by my teacher. Kay lihukan kaayo og sabaan. Talkative daw ang terms ako. So, naay mga ibang schools, they let the child stand in the corner, maybe face the wall or something. Kami ing anak pod, stand up the whole time nagaklase. So, what happens to the learner? Siyempre ako, high school na na-embarrass, di ba? I'm embarrassed. Imagine, high school ka lang, patindugon ka the whole time nagakuan. And syempre, teenager pa at that time. So, ignorance to the learning style will really detriment the learning of the learner, of the students. So, let's put it now in application sa ang atuang mga anak or atong mga pag-umangkon or whoever it is that we are supporting or we would like to contribute to in this digital learning or the new normal of learning in this season. So I'd like to hear from you if you have any shares. So I'd like to stop talking now. What do you think? What are your thoughts if, for example, your student or your child, your daughter, your son is trying to learn and then taod-taod ni adto kusina, naigikuha, lingkod na pod, or magsigig balik-balik, ma, di gyud ko kasabot. Sige lang kuan, sige assignment akong teacher, read this, read that, and dili gyud ko kasabot, so they end up frustrated. So like I'd like to address si Zai, no, si Dwayne. What could be the cause of the frustration? Most students are ending up frustrated nowadays. Kasi nga, parang apparently, dili sila kaapas or maybe naapod sila certain expectations sa ilahang kaugalingon, na sila kaugalingong pressure sa ilang sarili, and that's why they end up frustrated. So, does somebody like to share about a certain situation na without understanding the learning style, what are the possible problems or challenges that you will meet? Or maybe you can speak for yourself. Like ikaw, you're trying to learn something and then you're having a hard time understanding what it is that you're trying to learn.
Ako, Tita
Yes, Hannah.
Nita, na ako share. Yes. So,
Thank you.
makita na ko sa ako ang I have been schooled in a nursing school before. So, ang amua is, ay tanan man makasabot og Bisaya diri, no? So, most of our learning systems or curriculum ba ang tawag ana is directed both in the theoretical and in the practical parts. And ma-remember gid nako sa una na moana gid ako ang teacher na, Han, ikaw diha naguna-una na ka dito og adto sa client, and then without you having to know what is the theory behind what you are doing. So among term ana is rationale. You'd have to know the rationale before you do the procedure. Ang ako is inko na I thought that there's really something wrong with me kay ngano dili na ako magets theoretically. Not until nagkastorya ni Mini B last year. Kay nurse man po dahil ni si B. So ana siya sa ako Han, that's a different way to learn whatever procedure ang required sa ato as a nurse. Kay ako po maglibog po daw siya na hala daghana kay giyaw-yaw ang teacher, and sa amua kung namoy mga friends or kanang family members who have been in the nursing school before, pila gud mi ka oras ana, dili exaggeration na ay 5-8 hours na straight up lang gid na puro lang gid sa lectures, kay ilabay gid sa emoha ang mga theoretical systems para pag-abot dito sa hospital i-go na ay kanang kabalo na ka kung unsang imuhang buhaton. Ako baliktad ko kanang I would be able to learn more efficiently if I do it, and then later on na ako ma-learn kung unsa ang rationale behind that, or the teacher is with me during the whole procedure. Kay dili mag-retain ang information, Tita Nita, if kanang hala na alang ko dito unya murag ambot lang murag ang feeling nako ako ang body kay nagarebelde siya every 15 minutes kay murag ko kaihion. Kung ano perminti man ko kaihion, aside siguro sa cool ang environment namo sa school, pero dili ko mag-alingas ako, and then later on nakatong naa na sa workplace inko I get better grades pag naa ako dito sa hospital. Pag naa ako sa hospital, pag naa ako sa kuan ko nahalaw sa napod mag-memorize na po daw ingon ani, and ang ako ang mga teachers is na weird gid kay ka, I mean the clinical instructors siyahan labayan yung kanyang theory, dapat naagi reason na ay rational, which ma-appreciate po na ako. Ang ako alang is baliktad lang di ay may og way of seeing things, kay ako ang perspective na dito sa PICAS unya siya as a teacher is naapod sa PICAS. So mao lang tong ako this is such a fun thing to know about myself pod.
Thank you, Han. Very relatable good ang story ni Hana, no? Kay at one time or another, most of us are in a situation na kanang labi na kanang feeling nimo hala nakasabot na lagi sila tanan ngano ako dili, or why am I having a hard time accommodating this information, and sometimes we label ourselves buko juko oy di juko kasabot ani. Maybe we just learn things differently, or we call that in education accommodating new information differently, kasi nga kuan nga lahi-lahi nga tana kuan, and there are different senses. So some people, some learners, if they see it, then they will understand it. If they hear it, they understand it better. But most learners, especially the younger they are, if all of the senses are into the accommodation of this information, mas mag-retain. Kay tanan nato na senses, na atay mga nerve endings ana, di ba? Optic nerve, o unsa ba nang mga, I forgot all of these nerves. Tanan nato na mga senses sa eyes, sa ears, sa tongue, sa taste, sa touch, nani mga nerve endings. And these nerve endings bring this information to our brain. So the more senses that are involved in the learning, the more na ma-accommodate na sa ato ang brain. Now, ang challenge karon is if it is online learning. So if it is online learning, what senses do you think are engaged when our students or learners are learning? Ano ba ang ano diyan? Anybody?
Tanan, except sa taste.
Tanan, except sa taste. Yeah. So maybe when our students are learning, they see. So like right now, kita, let's use our classroom right now as an example. So while I was talking about the learning styles, ang ato ang sense of sight nakita nato, di ba? Nakita nato through the visual presentation, and maybe atong hearing. But for some learners, this is not enough. Dili siya enough na makita na ko, mabasa. Dili siya enough na nadunggan. Kinahanglan ma-demonstrate. So, in most workshops, naapagyutay ka ng mga role-playing. Diba? Mag-role-playing pa para ma-involve yun. So, for example, natay certain mga situation, mag-action, mag-acting. Uy, gets dayon because it's experiential. So some learners, they need to experience it so that they can accommodate or understand the information better. So mauna siya, it is very, very important first and foremost for ourselves first, kasi we love ourselves first, to be able to identify what our learning style is. And then you will find out that once you are aware or once you know what your learning style is, then you can make certain adjustments in situations where you are having challenges accommodating new information. So for example, you are attending a seminar, and this seminar is something that you are not interested in. You are required, let's say required by the office, required by the government. So I remember there was this time na gi-require ta na mag-attend og training sa train law. Okay? It's the new tax. So, I don't know if you attended ako. Attend na lang ko kay feeling na ako accountant maya ko. So, I want to attend. I attended siguro mga 4 or 5 train law trainings and workshops, mga ingana. After ana, din gyapon ko kasabot sa train law. There were a lot of information, there were a lot of discussions na dili na ako masabtan. At that time, I was thinking, basig tigulang na ko, oy, or dili na ako ka-relate siguro. But it's really hard. So, because sa mga trainings na yung anak sa mga accountants, boring yun kaayo, puro lecture lang na sila. So because there were a lot of participants, so difficult ang interaction, difficult, challenging ang mga discussion, small group discussion. So that's why I have to modify. I have to help myself. I have to find ways to be able to understand it that will match my learning style. So kinahanglan na agyo ko gina-walk through, akong gina-imagine na situations and scenarios, and actual discussion po with other people, and na-experience po yun na ako mismo personally na nagka-problema ko sa ako ang taxes because wala na siya nag-match sa new law nato. So I learned that way, learn through experience. Mao gani dako kaayong kanang ako ang charge to experience na mga learnings kay experiential. Ako na lang gisulti, okay, sige na lang na at least nag-learn ko kay I know that I learn best when I experience it. So this time I'd like to hear from you. What do you think are the advantages if you know your learning style, or if you have a specific example na ikaw mismo gi-adjust nimo ang situation? You did not depend already on the teacher because the teacher was just teaching the traditional way, lecture, lecture, lecture. And maybe your speaker, it could be a workshop, it could be a seminar. That's why it's called workshop na nowadays. Dili na siya training. Before, it used to be called training. Training on mga, let's say, marketing training, how to sell your product, di ba? Mga training. Nowadays, it's now called workshop because the expectations you dapat when you say workshop, daghan gyud na siya og kanang mga kuan actual na mga dili lang ka naminaw, dili ka lang naminaw sa speaker, but there is really a hands-on application of what is being discussed during that workshop. That's why it's called a workshop. So, I'd like to hear from one of you a situation wherein you, being aware of your learning style, was able to adjust the situation so that you can understand it better. Anybody?
I think, ako.
Sige, team.
For me, how was I able to know? Kasi diba VAK, it's really part of the mga workshops na before. And I was more, before I'm visual, pero ngayon I noticed I'm now an A. And I hate A. Before I'm not auditory gyud kay I don't like calls, I don't like pero I think nag-change siya over time because of this Zoom. Because I have like, this is my only way to communicate. And so I think being aware of what you know, in my personal koan kay I really love when I listen to people talking. I really have notes na mag-write gid ko ana kay it feels like I understand more when I write it down, even though I don't understand my writing after. Like ngano na ako nagisulat. Sometimes dili na ko siya ma-understand na kanang paspas kayo ba ang mga speakers ay so you cannot write the full pod. But writing helps. So I think writing can also be a form of kinesthetic, not just something to do with my fingers. Kaya dili man ako po siya ginabasa after ang akong notes. So it's a mix of everything. But how it has helped me, mas paspas ang assimilation, and I don't have to struggle with kanang mag-gets nila ako dili, because I know how's my learning style, or what's my learning style. So I know how to match myself or how to prepare myself. If, for example, I know the training is gonna be all talk, so I'm not gonna blame it on the speaker. I'm gonna adjust also myself, especially if dili pud aware ang speaker unsa ang mga learning style, diba? So knowing about this is really wonderful, and kanang at the same time more ko sa akong self, kind, and not to compare myself to others, maybe because they have a different learning style, so they get it easy than me. So mga anak.
Great, thank you, great share. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Sister Reina. So I think naakala sa read write katong sa ilang gi-include karon, VARC na karon nanay R. So read write, these are the learners who write while they are listening without even the intention of reading it again.
Yeah.
Diba? Kasi feeling lagi nila ilang brain extension, ang ilang arms is the extension of the brain. So somehow when they write it, murag mas ma-accommodate or ma-assimilate sa brain nila ang information.
So that's a new.
So that sa atong personal experience pa lang, mauna na ato ang mga experiences with understanding that people learn or accommodate information differently. Unique ta, dili ta the same. Dili the same tanan na auditory. We're not all visual learners. We're not all kinesthetic learners. So there are different learners. So kami, because I'm also a teacher trainer, I usually conduct trainings for teachers, and I usually emphasize to the teachers that you have to know your learners. You have to know what their learning styles are. Not necessarily individual, but you have to be aware that your students of whether they be 10, 20, 30, 40, unfortunately, I also train public school teachers who has a class of 60 students. So all the more if you have 62 students, these 60 students learn differently. And as a teacher, pwede pagug ka na magsulti lang bahala mo moapa sa ako di ba? Kinahanglan mahimo pud tag sensitive sa ilahang different ways of learning. So now going back to us, going back to this digital way learning na karon. If we want to help our children, okay, our pamangkin, our mga neighbors or kinsa ba na nagatuon karon, especially those who are struggling with this new way of learning, maybe you can try to identify, help them identify or help them understand or help them discover what their learning style is. In the internet karon daghan kaayo questions like the ones that I asked you, 15 questions. These are just one of the questions. You can search the internet. You can probably ask them to answer it. Or maybe even when you're talking to them, just discussing, you can actually find out, because once you are aware na a visual learner is this, an auditory learner is this, and a kinesthetic learner is this, okay, kuan di ini siya visual learner. So, pag makita nimo na ang ilang teachers puro lang assignments for now kasi I think they're limiting the screen time. So, usually assignment na, okay, you read chapter 5 or you do this ganyan, and your child at home or your learner at home is struggling already. Maybe you can help them be creative, like try to find visuals or to search in the internet. Simple lang kayo. The internet is our best friend right now. So if all they do is read, you search in the internet, they can show you pictures of what they are reading. Or even there are actually mga kuane kanang naapag short videos. So try to find, number one, what the learning style of your learner is at home, inyong mga anak, or ikaw mismo, or your soon-to-be children, for those who will be having children in the future. That is the best way for you to really be able to support them, knowing what their learning styles are, okay, or is. And it doesn't have to be only one, like what Tina said. Dili kay visual lang. You could be a visual auditory, or you can be all of this. So what you can do is, if you know that they are visual and there's also already pictures, there's already videos, di lang gyapon masabtan, then you can, so karon what we are doing is we are supporting already the teacher. Kasi right now the teacher can do so much. Like for me, example, no, ako, I'm looking at the time. I want sana na i-divided session. Mo to ako in my mind ba na, o sige, mag-group together mo ito by of threes and share what your, but short of time ang good. So sometimes these are the restrictions na mo as teachers, but there's a lot of things we want to do, we want to discuss. Kaya lang, minsan there are time constraints. Yes, so we can do 2 hours, so we can do that maybe on the next ano. So kani pa lang, no, I'm just here in the first, ano pa lang, number 1 step pa lang ta, identifying the learning style of the learner. So we started with ourselves first so that we will understand what their struggles are, what your son or your daughter is struggling about. Kasi kita mismo na makarelate ta, kay kita mismo nag-struggle with the learning style that we have. Okay, so is it clear? Do you have any questions so far about the learning style and the benefits of knowing or being able to identify what our learning style is or are, or what the learning styles of our children are? Do you have any questions at this point?
I have no question, but ko arang i-share na like what we've talked about last Saturday sa DXN. Am I clear?
Yes,
so, katotong na sa DXN, yeah, we have already identified Dwayne as kinesthetic, diba? So we did we did or we applied what you taught us. So karon on his third week sa klase, it's getting better compared to the first 2 weeks na murag na wala ko. Karon kay we just katong ingon mo na hatagan sa siya break time, maglakaw-lakaw and all. So mas na siya, lighter na siya and easier na for me if na siya iyahang own space because maybe I was just so kanang ako ang na-stress ba. Kaya ako ang gina-project sa iyaha. Oh my God. Nag-overtime kasi siya for the first 2 weeks. Okay, so Karen is really better. He can actually nanay improvement ako it's not Dwayne's problem, it's mine. Na improvement ako so murag kanang better na and he I can see he can freely walk around and he can actually finish his homework, lahat-lahat, his activities, kanang sayo-sayo earlier than the first 2 weeks na maabtan siya alas 2 sa gabi. Dala na yaw-yaw na ako. So, thank you. It's really important to know, to know unsa ang learning style sa ato ang students of at nato just for din para we can assist them in their learning. So, part 2 na tayo ha. Next week.
Thank you so much for that share, Zai. Makahappy man po na, oy. Sige, napo ko i-share later on in connection with that, yung moving around. Okay, so let's now go to our next slide. So, karon naga-evolve gyud no, naga-evolve daghan na kaayo ako maglisod ko usay apas aning about intelligences. There's so many intelligences already. So I'd like to talk about the intelligence. Aside from the learning style, we have to identify the intelligences also. So next screen, Sister Reina. Mag-share screen ta. I want to show you something. So we have already identified, we have already talked about the learning style. Now this time, we have different intelligences. I know this is already talked about several times also kasi common na ni siya kaayo. But I want us to understand also the different intelligences. These are what we call the multiple intelligences by Howard Gardner. So it says here that before manggod, during our time, ang intelligent kana lang yung kuan, kanilang yung si linguistic ug logical. Ora gyud na sila ang mga bright kana maka-perfect og score kasi ang basis lang gyud sa intelligence was your score on an exam and of course later on your final grade on the card. Mao lang na sila ang bright. But because of the evolution and then nakita nato na different studies, si Howard Gardner came up with this multiple intelligences. There used to be 7, karon 9 na siya. So I just want to go kuan lang quickly sa different intelligences. No, the first one kanang pinaka sa taas visual. These are what we call picture smart. So kani sila usually ang ending ani nila pag you are smart, picture smart, mao ni sila maayo kaayo ni sila og kanang drawing. Maayo kay na sila mag-decorate pod kanang makuan nila ba ang mga designers. Nindot kay ni sila because they are picture smart. Ang ilahang intelligence is more of that aesthetic. So, basically, ang nindot ni na mga profession sa ilaha, siguro architect na sila, interior designers, artists, visual artists, painter, or mga kuan, mao na sila. If you have these intelligence, nindot na, mao na ang imuhang linya. So, pasabot, whatever you will do, it will be very easy for you because basically, that is already your intelligence. We have the linguistic, the word smart. So, kani siya, common ni siya. Ang ending ani nila, nindot ni sila kung ang ending nila, they will become writers, siguro kanang journalist, maayo kay na sila, like somebody I know, si Lady Bam, oh my gosh, grabe kay siya ka word smart, no? The way na iyang i-coin ang mga words, come up with mga very catchy phrases, because maybe mao ni siya, word smart na siya. Ang logical naman, number reasoning smart, kani how gyud ni sila kaayo og mga numbers, math. Effortless lang kaayo ni sila. So very very smart na sila ang kuan. They are because they are number smart. Kinesthetic body smart. Kaning mga body smart tuuna, dili na siya considered as intelligence before. Kintay how ka musayaw, how ka mag sa sports, basketball. Ang tawag sa ilaha at that time, talent. Talentado ka. These are just talents. Oh, she's very talented. But actually, she's not very smart. She just dances very well, plays basketball very well, pero she's not really smart. Karon, kuana na siya, kanang it is already considered intelligence. In fact, ang mga athletes, they earn more than the valedictorian or mga summa cum laude. Diba? Kay maghawd kay sila magbasketball, si Pacquiao, tanawa, bright kaayo, ay body smart. So these are people who are very, kanang easy lang sa ilaha. Dili sila effortless sa ilaha, any mga activities that will require their body. Then we now have, mao ni ang isa sa mga bag-o, the naturalist. Okay? So karon, daghan ng mga nature lovers ng guwas, mga plantita, mga plant moms, ang mga green thumbs. Mao ni sila ang mag-ending nila sa ilahan nindot kung mahimo na sila kanang writers or mga researchers sa National Geographic, kung mag-adto na sila sa kuan, kanang mga archaeology, kanang mga how kay na sila about nature, labi na kanang mga something to do with mga herb or mga healers. So maybe or most probably because they are nature smart. Then we have the musical. Of course, these are the musicians. How kay mo kanta, how kay mag-compose og mga kanta, effortless. So basically, ang what we're saying, if you have this kind of intelligence, if you're doing something that is related to the body, numbers, word, or music, and it is effortless for you, then you have that intelligence. Dili kaayo ka ng maninuod. Then we have the existential intelligence. This is also one of the new intelligences kasi 7 before nadungagag duha. Ang duha na nadungag is naturalist and existential intelligence, which I think kita na sila, no? Mga existential and naturalist. Mao ni silang mga life smart. Mao ni mga ending mahimog life coach. Mao ni medyo na mga awareness already, mga spirituality and mga things like that. And I'm so happy that they acknowledge or recognize it as an intelligence na karon. Dili lang simply woo-woo or mga weird sila. Uy, lahi po ang ilang pagka-intelligence. So I'm very happy kay karon makasulti kita na kita tanan intelligent. No, dili lang ubang tao ang intelligent, kitang tanan. Then we have the interpersonal people smart. Kani ang mga maayo kaayo makacheka, how kaayo makabuhi og patay. Mauni sila ang mga tao na nindot na naa sa marketing, sa sales, because they are very sociable. It's easy for them to really, they're charismatic. So these are people smart. And the intrapersonal self-smart, maupod ni siya ang kanang knows themselves well. Mao ni mga tao dili lisod ka isa ilaha ang to love themselves kasi mga basically mostly mga introverts na sila. So, when you look at all of these intelligences, what does it say? It says that we are all intelligent. So, kaning atong mga anak, uy, unsa man ni ako mga anak? Ngano man ni siya ing-ani? Bugo man siguro ni siya. Sige lang man siya kabagsak. Kay ngano man nato siya na label as bugo. Kay limit lang nato siya na sa linguistic o logical. Tira-ra siya. But nowadays, kinahanglan masabtan gyud nato na dili ra gyud di ay na isa lang ang pagka-intelligent karon. Let's now look at the next screen. Tanawa, aside from these multiple intelligences, lahi-lahi na po ang pagka-bright. Before, it's just IQ. IQ lang na siya. Na, uy, taas kayo na siya IQ. Grabe, kita siya ka-bright. Kabalo ka ba iyang IQ? So we talk about scores. And that's the only basis for a person to be intelligent. Once their IQ scores are high, maura na. All the rest, commoners na tatanan, mga bugo na tatanan. So let's try to look down na daghan na ka IQ. Daghan na sila mag-igsoon na IQ, EQ, AQ, PQ, SQ. And makita nato na sa pandemic na ni unsang Q gyud ang pinakasikat. Okay, si IQ ba? Napay FQ. Oh yes. Napay po na. Actually, sa akong research, daghan kaayo Q. So I just limited it sa kaning 5 lang sa karon, no? Pero FQ gyud na ang uban. So let's start with the first. I-press daw ang team. Ang key. Press a key. Okay. So yan siya. Ang IQ is intelligence quotient. It signifies mental potential and academic ability. So as mentioned earlier, mauni sila ang mga hawd kay sa klase, sa classroom. So mauna na siya. Ma-remember na ako, akong bana ba, magsigig sulti sa ako, dear, wag you believe sa mga bright na tao. Kung ano man, ang valedictorian sa among klase ba, na hantod karon. And that was like 10 years ago. Hantod karon gajip lang gihapon. So, ang iyahang ginasulti is, IQ alone will not determine or is not a guarantee that you will really be, let's say, successful good, no? In a way, karang gi-envision sa mga tao in terms of kanang success na gisulti gyud nato, no? So, ang next nato na quotient is EQ, sama na siya team. Kani siyang EQ, common na po ni pati gani ang diaper sa bata na EQ. So emotional quotient is the ability to understand one's own and others' emotions and to use emotional information to guide thinking, behavior, and interpersonal relationships. Before, sa HR department, pag dawaton ka sa work, ang ilang ginatanaw, ang imuhang transcript of records, tanaw nila ang imong grado. Karon dili ka na. Ang ilang basis is they take you personality exam or something like that. And I was able to take it before tung nag-apply ko sa bangko. Baga kay na siya. Daghan kay questions na imong itubag niya. Paulit-ulit ang questions. Ginalibog ka lang, gina-rephrase. And I was talking to one HR head before. Sila mas gusto manggod namo na mas taas ang ilang EQ kaysa ilang IQ. Kaya ang EQ people, mas team player na sila. Mas dali na sila to work with kaysa ang mga taas na IQ kay kana sila bright lang. Problema ana sa ilaha, if sa ilang ka bright, if plan A will not work, mauna na ma-frustrate na sila. So kuan na magubot na ang world. Pero si EQ daghan na siya plan A, plan B plus plan C, tanan palpak mo yung siya napabitay 23 letters in the alphabet. So, hantod plan Z na sila. Kay taas kay mga ang ilang emotional quotient. The next intelligence is spiritual intelligence. O, di ba? Nanay spiritual intelligence karon makahappy, di ba? Tuuna, wala na nila ginakuan. Spiritual intelligence is the ability to behave with wisdom and compassion, while maintaining inner and outer peace, zen, regardless of the situation. Kani epekto na ni sa atong sunya meditation. So, intelligent na tanan. Ana ta diri sa SI. So, mao na ning mga medyo grounded na sila. And, based on our experience, it's really nice, especially with everything that's happening around us, that we maintain inner and even outer peace when things are happening. Another kind of intelligence is this one, AQ. Mauna na siya karon ang superstar sa mga sitwasyon karon. They call it adversity quotient. It is how one responds and deals with challenges and adversities that many times catch us totally off guard and unprepared. So let me ask you this, something for you to ponder upon. How high is your adversity quotient? Okay? So karon sa ato ang sitwasyon karon, daghan kaayong mga nahitabo, daghan negosyo na affected. Kita personally affected ta. Ang atong adversity quotient na how did we deal with the adversities, with the challenges? How did we respond? Okay, very high. Very high yun na siya. No? So, nindot kaayo na makita nato karon para-paraan gyud ato mga len-len halen karon. What else is possible? How does it get any better than this? Because ang atong adversity quotient taas. So it's also considered as intelligence. And the last, which is not very common, is last one is physical intelligence. It's the ability to listen to, di kay nako mabasa, no, kay nakoveran siya sa atong mga kuan. But basically, sa kuan po ni siya. Okay, so is the ability to listen, identify, and respond to internal messages about one's physical self. Kasi ang atong health is also wealth. So it's also considered as an intelligence if we are aligned with our body. So based on what we just saw, we have seen just now na kanilang intelligences, lahi-lahi, multiple. And then look right now, ang atong mga quotient, daghan kaayo. Pwede po SIQ. Ikaw na na. Ay, mataas ang ato ang SIQ, dili lang spiritual intelligence, sex intelligence, labi na pag naatay ka ng mga essential oils na kanang ginahaplas-haplas nato, no? Mag-attend ta sa mga workshops ni Mother P. So, why are we discussing the intelligences? We talked about first the learning style, and then ano tay mga intelligences. So, dili na lang ko kay murag medyo challenging gamay. Back na ta sa big screen tin. Medyo challenging gamay ang ato ang question and answer portion. I would have wanted. Sige lang. Sige daw. Why do you think it is important for us to understand the different intelligences? Anybody? Do you have naabamoy ka ng murag nakitaan somewhere while I was explaining it?
Anyone would like to share?
Anybody? Para at least dili lang pud ako puro madunggan ninyo ba. It's really nice to also be able to hear from the insights of other participants in this meeting. What's your take on this so far sa learning styles, sa intelligences? Would you like to share something? Oh, na recitation. Sige, graded recitation. Plus 10 kayo sa final grade kung mag-talk kayo ngayon. Go!
Sige na, kay plus 10.
Si Jen na. Okay, go Jen. Kaya nakasmile na sa akin. Ano ang makita mo dito, Jen?
I was just reminded of the learning style. Kasi ako yung tipo ng, buti na nga lang, hindi na, wala na ako na pinapaaral yung panahon na to. Yung tipo yung nanay halos yung magtuturo. Diba? Sa online learning, hindi pwede ng student lang. Hindi ba kailangan tutulungan ng nanay? Para homeschooling siya, diba? Ang dating ngayon, nung online class. So, before kasi, yung anak ko, pagka parang siya, visual, tapos yung reading, mga ganun siya. So, paminsan, may mga tinatanong siya, hindi ko rin naiintindihan. So, it's very helpful na nalaman ko yan, yung mga learning style na yan. Kasi dati hindi ko yan alam eh. But so far, alam ko, visual, and then yung reading, may bago pa ng category, which is the reading and writing. So, I'm more on that.
Okay. Thank you, Jen. Okay. So, yeah, medyo din yung choppy ka rin konti, but nagets ko yung sa anak mo. So, kaya natin pinag-uusapan ang intelligences. Some parents kasi are still stuck with dark age mentality pa ang tawag ko niyan, or stone age mentality, na malaking bagay pa rin sa kanila ang grade sa card. Of course, kuan man na bragging rights. Bragging rights man guna sa mga parents, no? Daghang kay medal ang mga anak, pagkuan, honor students, and we want to, of course, it's nice to celebrate. The family celebrates once our child accomplishes something, their honor students and all. But what about those learners who are not word smart and logical smart, or word smart and number smart, who will not excel in a school setting. So how do you think will they feel once everybody's celebrating and then ay dili siguro na disappoint. Nahimo namang gong culture labi na sa Pilipinas na i-celebrate yun ng kanang mga achievements. I'm talking about academic achievements ha. That's why ako gina-encourage gud ang mga teachers na nindot man gyud na i-reward nato ang ato ang mga estudyante with high grades for their efforts. Of course, they deserve to be recognized and acknowledged. Pero ayaw kaayo big deal, kaayo kay what about the other learners? How do you think they will feel? That's why sa mga young children karon, once na ay moving up, sila tanan ay award. Kanang mga sulti most active, mao nang pinakalihukan. Oh, mao nang mga lihukan kay sa klase pero oh wow, naa siya'y medal, di ba? Happy, proud. So mao de itong ang iyahang kuan, ang iyahang so we want to acknowledge everybody already. So I want to talk to the parents. I know you have most parents that I know, taas kay ilang pangarap sa ilahang mga anak. But we have to understand that not all intelligence are just limited to IQ, and not only the kanang kuan lang jud na ang i-celebrate nato are those who are doing well in the academic field. Okay? So that's the reason why na bring up po nako ning different intelligences. So, let's now go to how we can now support. So next slide na. Sister Reyna, next, so sa screen share. So, basically, we want to support learners right now sa at ang ilahang online. So, I'm going to give you some tips kasi ang atong time, it would be nice to have some shares paunta, no, kanang small group. But sige lang, magkita lagi hapon ta and then magkuan rata. Hala, nawala lagi. Nawala ang iyang kuan, no?
Wala siya. Wait, I'm just gonna take off the other kuan.
Sige. So while Tina is trying to work on the visual aid, if there are some other questions that you would like to ask, I'll try to answer them the best way I know how. Pero katong going back to sa learning style, ang pinaka perfect na phrase diha is what works. What works best for you, what works best for your son, for your daughter. So we'll try to find the environment or the situation that can support our learners in the best way, that ma-optimize po ang ilang learning based on our knowledge or ato ang awareness of their learning style. So if, for example, ang ilahang mga lessons, mostly readings, maybe you can support them with some researches also. So, nawala. Sige, ako na lang waitin ha. Nawala ang ano.
Wala siya.
Ang first manggod ana, okay. First is to reduce distractions. So these are some of the tips that I'm going to share with those who are support. You have children at home or students at home, whether they be young learners or high schoolers. Let's reduce the distraction. So we will try to find the perfect environment. The lesser the distractions, the better. Kami, naami mga students sa school na pag naaga ni ADHD, naagin na yung mga naagin na yung mga do's and don'ts with children who are easily distracted. So like kami, for example, identify na kanang student na ADHD, bawal na siya na sa may door or sa may window ipalingkod. Kay easily distracted yun na sila. I'm not saying that your learner has ADHD, but natay strategies. So, ang uban gani, pag naami one-on-one session, in fact, ginapa-face the wall na mo siya. Pasabot ang table, if sa tanaw nimo ang imong anak, dali lang ma-distract na. Alay mo agi na iring, na-distract na. So ang imong himuon, ang iyang table, imong iatubang sa wall. So ang iyang atubangan wall. Di ba mo man sa mga offices pod, pwede ka magbutang bulletin board sa wall, unya ang iyang table. So siya naka-face siya sa wall. So that dili siya aware sa mga movements behind them. So case to case na siya. Wala ko nagasulti that all students should be like that. But if you observe that your learner is easily distracted, kay naa siya nakita nag-open sa door, na nag-open sa ref niya, kay balay baya na sa kusina, na ay bisita, so ibutang na nimo siya sa lugar na dili siya ma-distract dayon. And then kung posible po, labi na ang noise, naamang ubang bata, especially auditory learners, dali po na sila ma-distract. They learn best when they hear it, but they are also mostly distracted when they hear other things aside from the teacher. So kinahanglan ma-remove nato ng mga distractions sa imuhang bata. So like for example na TV or kanang imong silingan, saba kaayo, ang ilang radyo maabot sa inyo ha, magngita na, and kanang clutter-free kung pwede ang ihang workspace if possible. Okay? So next screen nato is have a consistent schedule. Ang pinaka-secret yun, sa labi na sa amo sa young children, mahibaw-an ako kay ako medyo libuter man ko sa school. Mahibaw-an ako paggubot ang classroom pasabot dili ma-manage well sa teacher ang iyang students or iyang classroom. One of the reasons is because wala sila'y consistent schedule. Children or maybe adult learners, they want predictable pattern. Na kanang kabalo sila na okay, ing aning orasa mag flag ceremony, pagkuman ing ani among first lesson, second lesson, recess, and then lesson lunch ana. Predictable ang ilahang, kung pwede consistent ang imuhang schedule. Dili pud rigid, okay? It will kanang medyo naalang kay kwan if let's say ilang klase is what 1 or 2 hours lang, so namoy schedule for that is being dictated by the school, but after that medyo kaugalingon na maguna sa kuan sa imuhang anak, so you can sit down and maybe discuss with your learner, okay, in ani ha, I will give this time, so you do the first activity, and then so you try to build as much structure and consistency as possible. Okay, so there's time for meals, time for schoolworks, time for other activities, and things like that. If possible, you try to get them the same schedule they had when they were still going to school, if possible. But if not, so kung pwede, same unta ilang wake up time, mga ana ba, consistency. You also observe what works best for your child. Naamanggoy ka ng pareha kita, di ba, na ay iuban sa ato, we work best sa gabi, nocturnal ta, murag mas daghan ka ay tag mahimong, we are more productive during nighttime. Some people mornings. So kinahanglan observant pud ka sa imong anak. Tan-awon pud nimo unsang oras best na medyo mas kuan sharp pa ilahang mind ba, or focus pa sila. So each child is unique. So therefore, when you are doing a schedule with them, so makita nimo na after lunch medyo kapoy, papahinga hapon sila. So patulugon pud nimo kung kinahanglan. Okay? And then next is, what's the next? Okay. Next is you provide positive feedback. Kani, importante yun na, especially pag makita na nimo na medyo frustrated na, so, syempre, no, si mother, sige nagpangasaba, sige nagyaw-yaw, makadungag na sa ka-stress sa inyong mga anak. So, we look for opportunities to celebrate. Isang gamay lang, wow! Oh, good job! Ana ba? Kanang, mas, kuan, of course kita, di naman po na maiwasan because we want them to do really well. tama gitong observation ni Zai, makuan po nimo ba, malabay po nila, actually, imuha man tong frustration, imuha man tong disappointments, nalabay nimo sa imuhang anak, dili man to ilaha, who does this belong to? It belongs to mommy, mangyud na siya, katong mga kuan. So, provide positive feedback. Depende sa ilahang grade. So, like for example, when they are younger, kinaatay mga uban diri na ay 5-year-old, na ay mga 8 or 9, ganahan pa kayo na sila og mga rewards. So, kabalo ka, as simple as sticker, pag makahuman sila og kanang ilahang activity for the day, butangan nimo sticker ng kuan. Sa mo ang akong ginahimo tuuna, karang sa mga dili kay motivated na mga students, na young students, na ako'y names nila, and then na ay kanang murag kuan ba, na ako'y board. And then every time na naa siya mahuman na activity, butang nag-sticker, pang makaabot na og 5 stickers, maybe na ay ice cream, something like that, or something that they like, or free time, or you can play with your this, whatever it is, try to find rewards for young children. For older children, maybe ang ilahang reward could be a form of maybe they can spend more time sa TV later on, or I don't know, screen time, or maybe you can prepare them their special meal, or maybe they can spend more time playing, or whatever it is. As long as they feel kanang kuan ba encouraged, with kato lang ang ako agyud, find opportunities to praise them. Small ones, nahuman lang niya sulat, nakahuman lang siya whatever, gamay lang, nahuman lang niya read ang assignment. Ayaw na hulatan na ma-answer niya tanang question. Murag, if their assignment is read chapter 5 and answer the questions after the chapter, nahuman lang nila basa, wow, you were able, good job. Oh, at least, dili at least, you don't say at least. Great, you were able to finish it. You're sitting down. Okay, you may go out first and then do something else. And then when you come back, you can start answering the question. So, celebration sa mga milestones na ginagmay. Ayaw hulata na, ay dili isa, humanon sana nimo, answer ta ng question bago ka kuha na, ikaw sige lang kag kuha. Sige kasaba. Mas daghan ang kasaba kesa ang mga positive feedback. Okay, next screen is be flexible. Okay, so makita nato diri sa picture na as a mother, which means that, yes, maog yun ni ang mahitabo karon sa ato ang world na apil gyud ta og enroll sa klase. Flexibility in terms of if your child needs you, you can give them the time that they need, which means that you have to adjust your own schedule as well. There are some activities or subjects that are probably more difficult, so you consider setting aside another time with your child to work on that assignment. So we are still in the transition karon. Try working with your child on more challenging tasks during the times when they are most alert. So ayaw pag-tackle og difficult tasks pagkatulugon na sila or at the end of the day na. So, kung medyo alert sila, o sige, let's do this. O so, may lisod na assignment. And then, kuan po nimo na kaya nila during times na kanang kuan, i-assign mo sa ilaha when you are not available. Okay? So, next is kani, ang medyo kuan. Help your child to stay in touch with their friends. When, di ba kita, students, di ba, nga naman ta excited mo adto sa school? Excited ba ta mag-learn? Di ba, excited ta kay makita nato atong mga friends, excited ta kay magkaon ta together recess, excited ta kay magdula ta og shatong after class or magplay tag basketball or sa PE. Mao man ang excitement sa mga students when they go to school. And now this is removed from this situation right now. So, try to find ways na in touch lang gihapon sila with their friends. I think the teachers are doing that also. They have chat groups, they have assignments na group. But if you can also do that and encourage your son or your daughter to, sige, tanungin mo, sige daw, mag-do kayo ng assignments together. Because they really need that. They need the social environment. Many children will have new teachers, they will have new friends, and especially like si Dwayne, new student, it will be nice for them to really be able to interact, even online with friends. And that it will, bring about kanang creativity and even productivity sa ilaha once they are ano. So, next kani, nice ni siya. This one is include brain breaks between learning. So, this time, since sila lang, i-chop-chop na nimo ang ilahang time that they are in front of the screen. So, it might be hard for most kids to sit through the entire class. So they need frequent breaks. So ikaw po, sige, once you can have a 10-minute break, you go outside. So bisan 25 minutes, actually kani sa ato it's already long eh. Kaning mga ing-ani na maglingkod tag 2 hours, it's really long. So and another thing, we suggest or we encourage physical activities before sitting down. So, nice na kita imong anak, imuha sang palakaw-lakaw, time for exercise, you can do tai chi, you can mag-zumba ba mo or what, you can make them do skipping rope or something before they sit down. There's a lot of studies that support that the brain is actually more focused when the child actually did movements or exercise before they are asked to sit down for long periods of time. So if it is possible, if they're, I don't know what their classes will be during this online learning, if it's 7:30 or 8, maybe 10 minutes before that, you let them do some physical exercises so that it will improve their attention. In fact, before this, mga kaninang 2 o'clock, I was researching. Tuuna pa, nadunggan na ako, there is a school without chairs. Way back 2004, 2005 pa na siya. We've heard about this and gi-research na ako kanina na agyud in America and some Eastern countries. And in fact, naana yung nakita ninyo na video sa Japan, na katong school na magsigig dagandagan ang mga bata. They're moving all the time. So, kung pwede po na there are times na medyo ibutang nimo ang computer sa imong anak medyo taas so that nakatindog siya. Okay po na siya. Because sitting down all the time is not really a healthy way of learning. Naanatay daghan studies na movements. So, i-encourage po siya na okay lang maglihok-lihok. So, you're listening to the teacher. O sige, you move your chair, you stand up every now and then if you need to. So, make it, give your approval to movements. Let them know that it's okay for you kung lihukan sila. Kay karon nakasabot naman ka na kung lihukan sila, mas daghan sila, mas ma-accommodate nila, mas maka-focus sila. Okay? So, mo na siya. And I think that's the last slide. Wala natin, no? Okay. Stay connected and in touch with the teacher. Ako teacher man ko, I like it when the parents really, because ang learning man ko, dili lang man ko na sa school ra gyud na siya. Mas daghan pa time ang mga bata sa balay karon than sa school. So ako, as a teacher, I will really appreciate if the parents will stay connected with me. We can talk about na makatabang po sa ako kay pariyaan ni karon sa screen maglisod man ko nakasabot ba ni sila unsa man ni ako mga estudyante nagkitok naman ni dili kaay nako masabtan kung nasabtan ba nila di kay nako mag-gets kung nasabtan ninyo what I'm trying to say, unlike if we were really in a classroom daghan certain body language or mga natay discussion mas daghan feedback on me on how am I doing in terms of the way that I am teaching. Karon, I would like unta more of interaction kaya lang the connection dili kaayo kuan kay dili kaayo clear ang atong ginasulti. So maglisod ang teacher og assess if ang ako abang goal or intention na achieve ba nako. So if I receive communication from parents na, ay, teach, naglisod si kuan ani, kanang kuan, is there another, can you give me some reference on this particular subject? Kay, murag, kuan ni siya, medyo na-challenge, si Dwayne, na naglisod, si Dwayne na lang ito ako i-example, no? Medyo naglisod yun siya, do you have any suggestions in terms of other references about this particular subject? And in fact, this is the activity that we're doing at home. Nakababay masuggest na other things based on, of course, most teachers have taught that also. So ako, maganahan dyan ko, ay salamat na ako'y assistant teacher sa balay. Okay, so please, connect with your students or child's teacher. Text them, si pangutana agpuan. Okay, so I think that ends my share for this afternoon. Sa oras na ba murag taas, no? Sorry kaayo ha, sige lang ko yaw-yaw. Okay, lisod manggod kaayo ang connection sa uban. Do you have any questions at this time or anything you'd like to add? Or anything na medyo na-confuse?
Juanita.
Yes. Merly.
Yes, I'm so happy that I have learned so much. Nakasabot jud ko as a parent, as a teacher po. Dagang ko na kuan mga intelligence, mga IQ, mga AQ. Kabalo ko kay correct gyud ka kay sa among seminar murag kuan lang man to, limited raman mga Q. Pero I would like to affirm sa imong mga tips sa mga parents, no? Katong nag-ingon ka nga give kanang opportunity for reward. Remind ko lang sa mga parents diri kinsa na diri, don't break promises. Kung unsa imong giingon sa mga bata, okay magkuan gid sa akong anak, mag-ingon ko ana, sige humani mo na tagaan ka na ko kwarta 100. Kailangan tinuod jud nimo ihatag sa iya kay
dapat
okay makuan ang bata. Oo. Second, katong what they see in you. So kung kuan nimong schedule, ma'am, di ba? Kung ikaw as a parent dili ka maghimo, dili ka mag-wake up, mag-prepare, dili pud ang imong anak mag-follow sa imuha. They see in the adult in us, no? Especially katong naay mga kids karon, maglisod jud sila pasabot sa ila kay nani ang atong sistema. So kana pud ang akong advice or another additional sa imo, ma'am Nita, pero daghang gid ko na learn. And then ang last, bring out the best in your child. Sa una, tinuod jud ingon ka, ma'am, nga ang grades, no? As ako sa una estudyante, ang grades gud ang importante sa parents. Pero karon I realize it's not the grades kasi it's about life, how you tackle in real life. Na ako'y mga classmate, mga bright kaayo pero walay trabaho karon. No? Ako kay simple lang pero I'm happy. I'm happy. Thank you, DXN. Na ako'y plan B. Duha ang ako, plan A ug plan B. So, bring out, ang akong suggestion sa ila, bring out the best in your child. Kung ana lang man siya, ingon si Ma'am Juanita, tinuod jud to listen to their movements, listen to their intelligence. Kasi siguro sila intelligence sa physical, sa lain pa, no, na sila intelligence niya. So, keep up the good work, ma'am. I love your teaching. Nakasabot mi. Ayaw ka balaka. I am so happy. Thank you, ma'am. God bless.
Salamat kaayo, Merly. Wow, very nice gid ang imong contribution. Tama to yang gisulti. So, dapat modeling po ta. Kung kuan, monkey see, monkey do ba ang mga bataan. Thank you, Ma'am Merly. Kinsa pa'y uban? Na mo'y ikadungag or question?
Anybody else? So far, actually, there's a lot here in the group chat. They all understood and they're actually happy with.
By question, Tin? Yeah.
Question currently wala because
okay.
You really explained it well.
And wow, thank you.
eliminated all the yung wala, no further question, I think. What so far wala namang dito on the
Sige,
chat.
salamat.
Yes, because you really explained it well and clearly and simply. So awesome gid kay ka nga um presenter, teacher, facilitator for us this afternoon. And
Sige, salamat po. Salamat sa inyong mga time.
at saka yung topic mo because this is something that wala pa kayo gina-discuss in many mga calls, Zoom calls. So here are mga comments. Nag-chat lang ang uban. Crystal clear daw ang presentation. Then
Thank
Mother P.
you.
We have the honor to have Mother P here with us. And
Oo nga, si Mother P is also a teacher.
yeah. And Ate Jen Ramirez is saying, if I had known all this before, mas magaling na siguro si EJ.
Oh,
And
you did great. The achiever si CJ eh.
si Kuya Balcastar said, galing talaga, 100% awesome. So, yes,
Thank you.
thank you so
Thank
much.
you for your generous comments.